All systems go.
You're listening to Sudbury News Talk.
I want to show you something.
Stand by.
On the morning shift.
Anything
Could happen.
Sudbury News Talk on the morning shift.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Sudbury News Talk on the morning shift, CKLU 96.7 FM, Facebook Live, and YouTube Live today. We got our multi-streaming back online, and soon we will have our you'll be able to make your comments and actually have them, posted right on the video rather than having to, view them in the comment section on Facebook. You'll just be able to see them pop up on screen. We'll be able to handle that. I just need to take a few moments and learn how to do that, but that's coming very soon to this broadcast. Grateful to be with you here on Tuesday, June the 28th. Happy birthday, those of you that it's your birthday. And happy birthday, Zach.
It's not my birthday.
Oh. Well, it will be at some point.
Yeah.
Sometime.
It might be my half birthday now.
Oh, yeah, your 6th month, your hump day of your birthday.
I think it's in like a week.
There you go. So
Not bad.
Something's brewing here with your birthday. Anyways, and thanks for joining us. Make sure to like and share the video and our page as well to get the word out for the community conversation that we are about to have this morning, as we do every morning between 7:30 and 8:30 a.m. Thanks again for all your comments. It really helps the conversation be more robust and keeps us in check too. A lot of times we're maybe not as informed as we could be or should be, and then the conversation really helps that not to be the case, and we're able to have a more, like I said, robust conversation, and a lot of people have the facts of things that we're just kind of talking about. So anyways, talking about some weather to get started, and we'll be right on with some highlights and some headlines right after this. Okay, it's 7 degrees currently, mainly sunny in the city of Sudbury, and we got, it'll continue to be sunny early this morning, and then a mix of sun and cloud, 40% chance of showers. And Zach, you said you never really saw any showers, even though it keeps saying there's a chance of showers.
Yesterday.
It did.
Yeah,
it sprinkled. I thought of you. I thought of you. Yeah.
Just a sprinkle.
That's right. So wind will start at 20 kilometers, gusting to 50 this morning, then increasing to 40 to 60 this afternoon. High of 23, humidex 25. 7 is the UV index or high. Tonight, cloudy, 40% chance of showers early in the evening, and then beginning showers. Chance of showers early in this evening, showers beginning this evening, risk of thunderstorm this evening, and after midnight. As you can see, I'm reading it, and it's just, I probably would have worded that a lot differently. Local amount of rain will be 10 to 15 millimeters. I don't know, that sounds like a lot to me. What about to you?
Yeah, millimeters of rain is different than
that's right.
Centimeters of snow.
Yeah, exactly. It still sounds like a lot.
Sounds like a lot.
Yeah. And low of 12 this evening. And then the forecast for the Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 40, 70% chance of showers, 21, 23 respectively for the highs. Weekend's looking pretty darn nice so far, but again, we're 4 days away from the weekend. Canada Day, we won't be on Canada Day. We have a day off, and you can have a day off too, and we'll celebrate this great nation of ours with some hopefully nice weather. Anyways, we'll be back right after this with some headlines. As promised, we got some meaty discussion points to do with the city today, and I'm looking forward to our conversation.
Yeah, we do. Before we get to that, a couple of unfortunate, sadder headlines that I just wanted to get out of the way, and then we can get on to more discussion-based topics. But in case somebody brings these up, as
Yeah.
people with me often do, local stories. 2 tragedies happened in the last few days. One of them was a car accident. Nairn Center resident named Fern Belanger, 66 years old, was in a collision that closed Highway 17 for much of Sunday. The
Yes.
2-vehicle collision was around 1 p.m. on Sand Bay Road. Preliminary investigation revealed how the 2 vehicles collided. One of the drivers was in life-threatening condition, and he later passed. That was Fern Belanger, like I said. And the other sustained minor injuries. The other story that we have, Wikwem Kong.
Hey, good job.
Is that good? Did I do good?
Or Wiki.
Wiki.
Yeah,
I've heard
for
Wiki
sure,
more.
yeah.
Man drowns while at Chutes Provincial Park. So a 35-year-old man, resident of Manitoulin Island, was swimming with friends. And when he failed to surface, OPP was dispatched. But sadly, he passed, and the underwater search and recovery unit attended the scene, located the man, and post-mortem examination will take place in Sudbury. So a couple of
Very sad.
very sad stories. 2 Sudbury area men.
With the latter story we just talked about was I was at work yesterday, and I was talking with the person I work with, and she was saying they just came back from holiday from there, and they just finished swimming there and saw a bunch of helicopters and things coming. They knew
really?
something tragic was taking place, and so they only found out yesterday what happened. And anyways, that's a huge tragedy. Thoughts and prayers to the families of both those individuals
Absolutely.
and friends.
So let's go through headlines, and then we'll start with something a little lighter, but also, not pretty much unrelated. The reason I want to get it out of the way, so we don't, it seems like we have one continuous thing, because the stories do have a theme today.
We have a theme today, yes, for sure.
So we will be talking about the $98 million suggested cultural center downtown on Shaughnessy.
Yes.
The Junction East project will be taking a leap today if the votes go city councilors' way.
Yep.
Also on city council, a new social media policy is being proposed, and if adopted, it would hold accountable city councilors for their Facebook and other social media pages.
Yes.
Comments that other people make, they would be held responsible for them. Just holding them to the same standards that they would a city councilor, him or herself.
That's what, this is an article written by Robert Kerwin. We'll have to say it comes directly from him. It's not from a reporter or a third party, but yeah. So a lot of his personal feelings, we'll talk about that. That's huge. There's a lot to unpack in that whole social media policy that the city is looking to adopt.
Yeah, and it's easy to say something like that when you already do it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But anyways,
huge stuff.
Paul Lefebvre is in the news again, this time basically being held to account for not saying too much of his actual mayoral plans or aspirations and just kind of leaving everything general. So we don't know yet how he feels about public spending on, millions and millions of dollars of projects. We don't know how he feels about a new arena. Anyways.
That's true.
There's many things.
He just speaks in generalities, I think, is the
and
criticism on
a few months before the election that might be expected, but
yeah.
I think people are going to do the bulk of their research, before September kind of thing.
I think so.
And I saw that this letter to editor on Sudbury.com on the STC remaining a magnet for Northern Pro Theatre.
Yes.
So this is by renowned playwright and Governor General Literary Award winner Colleen Murphy. We'll go through that.
Yeah,
And
I saw that as well, so I'm glad that you picked that.
To start our headlines today,
Yeah.
you posted this one on our Facebook, as most of our stories you do.
Yeah.
A couple of friends got into an argument
Yes.
last summer,
Mm-hmm.
and one of the friends left or went inside, and the other one did the unthinkable and poured gasoline on his friend's pickup truck and lit it on fire.
Yeah, apparently they got together having some drinks, and I guess things started getting out of hand, and the one friend followed one into his house. He went for a shower, and he went in to kind of maybe resolve something that they were already, there was some contention of some kind, and then the friend left and went home, and then at 2 a.m.,
Yep.
the one person says his name in the article, I believe...
There's Belfit, which is a friend that,
He's-
or a neighbor that ran over to help. There's Philip Dugas
He's
and
the-
Evan Belfit. Yeah.
So I thought Dugas was the one that had his truck.
No,
I could be wrong.
Dugas was the burner.
He was the.
Yeah, we got it all mixed
the
up.
accused. Anyways, yeah, that's fine. But yeah, so he
Hard
went.
to keep these things straight. We'll just say the guy.
He
and
went
then the
over
guy.
to burn his friend's truck.
Yep.
Poured gasoline on it. The friend was awoken when neighbors called him or something, or alerted him that his truck was on fire.
Mm-hmm.
He went out and put it out and suffered burns as a result of trying to put out the fire in the truck, or the truck on fire.
Yep.
And he was given, he had to pay for the damages of the truck, had to pay a $5,000 fine.
Mm-hmm.
I think he was charged for mischief over $5,000 or something like that.
Yep,
Maybe
that's right.
that's where I'm getting the $5,000 from.
He pleaded guilty to that.
Yeah.
That charge.
And apparently the friend even said to him in court that he knew he was sorry for what he did, and he feels that he's genuine, and which is really cool.
Yeah,
I think
that's
it ended
nice.
up with a positive ending between these long-standing friends, right?
That's what you would hope happen.
Like, I mean, I've never burned a friend's truck as a result of an argument, but I probably crossed my
Lit it on
mind.
fire.
Yeah.
What surprised me is that the charge made was for arson.
Oh,
Like, I guess arson is just a general charge for burning anybody's property.
I think that
Yeah.
qualifies for arson.
It's
for sure.
different than like destruction of property, is what
Yeah.
I'm saying.
It's a
its
specific
own thing.
kind. Yeah, if you burn it, it's arson, yeah.
It's like if I shot the fire hose at someone's truck until it was no longer functional, would that be like delugement?
I don't know what
Or would that be destruction of property? I don't know.
We should get a lawyer on.
Yeah, we should.
Maybe we can get Paul Lefebvre at some point.
Yeah.
He could
We're going to
Tell
get
us.
to that. We're going to get to that article later.
tell us
But
what would
it's
happen.
kind of interesting. So Dugas said the truck was not just a vehicle, but a link between generations in the Belfit family, because it belonged to Belfit's grandfather
Yes.
before he had it.
Yeah. So it had sentimental value.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, it wasn't just wheels to get to work and back. It was,
And he put a lot of work in himself, is what the article says.
yeah, family
You know, he
heirloom.
replaced lots of parts and
Yeah.
kept it running. It was a 2004
Mm-hmm.
Chevrolet. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's I don't know. It's one of those kind of weirder stories. I think this would fit in our playlist of like strange headlines,
That's true. Yeah.
because you can make a really striking headline from this, and it ended up with an okay conclusion.
I think so. It really
But,
did. Yeah. There-
It's just like Sudbury man lights friend's truck on fire is kind of a
Yeah.
funny. I don't know. I think that's a funny headline.
Yeah. I think this took place in St. Charles, if I'm not mistaken.
Cartier.
Or Cartier, sorry. Yeah. That's closer to Sudbury than St. Charles for sure.
Yeah,
Have you ever
it's,
been to Cartier?
Yeah, many times. Yeah.
It's a nice little
I like it.
little place.
Right by Windy Lake.
Right by Windy Lake, yeah.
Yeah, awesome place.
I like it.
Let's talk about this cultural center.
Oh, we're gonna get
Junction
right
East.
into this. Okay, we'll be right back. Just to give you a heads up, I do have a video that could go along with this from. Yeah, I do have a video. It's about I don't know how long it is. Maybe,
Oh yeah, we should
may-
play this. I
maybe
remember
a
this.
minute, but we'll talk about it a little bit first,
And then we'll move on.
We'll play the video. Yeah.
Okay, so a report headed to City Council asks that the City of Greater Sudbury approve the Junction East Central Hub project financial plan with a total budget of $98.5 million. Construction will cost $80 million. Contingency budget $14 million. Sustainability and accessibility options totaling more than $11 million.
Mm-hmm.
Total budget would be $98.5 million. Financing would be provided by a variety of sources: debt, reserves, contribution from facility partners, senior governments, subject to confirmation of various funding applications currently under review. Staff, administration, and land acquisition $4 million. HST $1.7 million. Public art cost about $700,000. It's a lot of public art.
That's a good break. You did a really good breakdown there, Zach, of all the money, all the allocations, where they're coming from for the new proposed Junction East project.
Here's another good little addition. So where's the money coming from, as our friend Polyev would say?
Yeah, I think it's coming from various sources, as this article is pointing out. I think it did say some's coming from the Art Council and some's coming from another kind of not-for-profit.
Sudbury Multicultural and Folk Arts Association.
So I found that odd because I thought they get a lot of their funding from the city.
Yeah.
So how do they have money to put into this? Or,
it's your money. It's all your money.
Well, that's what I mean. They get it from us to begin with, and then now they're going to give it to the new project. Or it's money that's allocated to them anyways, and instead of using it for something else, they're going to use it for this building. Is that how it's going to be allocated? I don't know. Well,
once something is in the budget, it's pretty hard to get it out. So I feel like a lot of these organizations can just slush fund their money around. Council will also vote whether or not they should put the project on ice for the time being.
Okay. Put on a hold.
Additional funding is required for the project, approved at $98.5 million. I don't know. I don't even know what to say about this.
$98.5 million. So what is this Junction East going to house? Like what are we looking at here?
So it'll be 102,000 square feet.
Yeah.
Located in the shadows of Tom Davies Square, across from Wacky Wings.
So basically on Shaughnessy, I think they said. So where the parking lot is currently.
It's a parking lot right now.
So where the main parking lot is for the arena.
Most of the parking.
Yeah, for the arena, that's where it's going to go.
Underground parking.
Yeah.
The project makes a statement about the city's position as the capital of Northeastern Ontario and our community's commitment to accessibility, environmental sustainability, multiculturalism, indigeneity, social inclusion, and the importance of cultural industry. So basically, this is a giant monument to the ostentatious art
of inclusion.
Yeah, that's just a buzzword. This has nothing to do with inclusion.
But I mean, they'll have artworks that represent multiculturalism.
So artists of many different backgrounds will be overpaid for their art. That's funny.
Well, again, it's a bit of a social statement too, I guess, is what this the wording is of that, right? We want to show Northern Ontario, we are the center of Northern Ontario, and it's going to be an edifice to the idealism of multiculturalism and kind of make a statement. Is that what this sounds like to me? That's what that sounded like, the wording.
Yeah.
It's going to make a statement. We're going to go say, look, we are multicultural. We can promote that with this new structure. The structure will speak for us. Is that what it's saying? What's going to be in this structure, though? There's going to be a museum.
It says it will cost more than $1.5 million to run the facility on an annual basis. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and say that estimate's about 5 times too small.
So over $1 million, anyways, to run it yearly cost. So it costs. It's
going to cost over $1 million to maintain it.
98 point whatever million is what it's saying now. It's going to cost, but it will be more than that once it's built. We all know that.
You can't even hire like a staff of a small, retail business for $1.5 million.
Mm-hmm.
With inflation and everything.
Yeah.
It's like
Isn't there supposed to be an auditorium in
This
here
is going to
too?
be a massive, massive building, and it's not going to make a dime.
Yeah, no one's really going. They're going to have to really. It's going to take funding and things.
You're going to
keep it
spend
going.
more on inclusive art
Yes.
than you're ever going to make from this place, ever.
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't even think, are people going to pay to go see the art? Is that what happens? You pay a fee to go in and see it?
I don't know. Usually they try and make a few bucks, but like,
There is a library as part of this, though.
yeah, I like libraries.
There's a library, so we're taking the library we right now look as the flagship library on Mackenzie Street, and it will find its new home in this, this building, Junction East building.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's going to be an auditorium, which is, I think, the same size as the one in Place des Arts.
Pretty much the exact same.
So you have two auditoriums, same size, same seating down the street from each other, brand new. And then you have the SDC right beside that, similar seating. And then you have the Sudbury Secondary Auditorium, which is a
Just down
stone's
the
throw
road.
from there too.
Yep.
So we're going to have to be putting on a lot of shows here, Sudbury. And
Speaking of that, Sudbury Theatre Center
Yeah.
did chime in as well, saying that they support the project
are they going to move in there
and
too?
they're a partner of the project.
Oh, so they're going to move
They're
in.
not putting up necessarily $3 million
No,
like the Art Gallery of Sudbury.
no. Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I mean, you know where we stand on it.
Well, we do have a promotional video from the library itself, kind of making the pitch of, like their services they offer and things, and how that would really, attract people to this new building, I think, or whatever. Maybe we should just watch it and see what we get from it here. This is from the library themselves, so I can't speak too much of it. Maybe we'll just watch it and we'll be right back.
Did you know that the main library has a makerspace where you can use a 3D printer, vinyl cutter, sewing machine, soldering iron, and more? It's a place where patrons can do crafts and woodworking, precision cut materials with the Cricut machine, make graphic tees with the t-shirt press. Your imagination is just the beginning. The makerspace is amazing, but it is tucked away in the lower level. Plus, all the equipment is tucked away within the space, so people can't see what's possible. We need a bigger makerspace that people can find, where the equipment is visible and accessible, to support our community to do its most innovative and creative work. We need the new Central Library to make it happen.
Sorry, I didn't unmute us. So after watching the video, what are your views on
My thoughts are
the pitch from the library?
you
that we
could
need to
buy
make?
everyone in Sudbury a Cricut machine,
A Cricut machine?
which is like a precision cutter. It's
Oh.
like an art tool.
So everyone in Sudbury could probably have one of these in their rec room for the amount
Well,
of money that we're...
Not actually, but
Something like that.
let me just do the math here.
Yeah, because we could all have one in our homes, and then how convenient would that be? You know what I mean? And we wouldn't have to go to a place.
Yeah, we could each have 2 Cricut cutters, the whole city,
Like, are you going
children and elderly.
by the population?
Yeah,
Wow.
2.
So you can just buy us all...
You could buy
You could do-
everyone in the entire city a 3D printer and a precision cutter,
Wow.
but they wouldn't have glue.
Well, you can buy your own glue.
Well, I don't know. Some people don't have glue.
Or this,
T-shirt press.
maybe that's where the ongoing 1 point whatever million dollars of running the facility could go towards glue for people. You know what I mean?
It's not enough. That $1.5 million is such a joke.
To run the new junction.
You can't
East.
even keep up on capital expenditure for $1.5 million.
No.
No, it's going to be closer to 10%.
Heating costs,
Yeah, that's probably $1 million right there.
hydro.
It's 100,000 square feet. They
Um,
are going to do a $7 million eco project, though.
okay.
They've already mentioned that
$7 million to build the...
to make
this?
it like ecological,
Okay.
to make it a green
So,
building.
so they're not going to need hydro?
They'll still need hydro.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What about heat? Will the ecological, mechanisms that they're going to build in there create enough heat for the?
I'm going to call it right now. If they
Really?
spend the $7 million, I think it is, on sustainability, this stuff, it's still going to have gas hookups.
Mm-hmm.
It's still going to have a furnace.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically just going to be solar panels, I'm thinking.
Mm-hmm. Are they going to put a garden on the roof?
That would be cool.
Yeah.
Might even be cooler than a makerspace.
Yeah.
But
They could sell the vegetables and things to pay for the building, maybe.
I don't know. I mean, if it makes people feel better.
Have the farmer's market on the roof.
The far.
You know what I mean? Like instead of having it at the train station, they could have the farmer's market.
Yeah, like
On
that's still
top.
downtown.
Yeah, exactly. How cool would that be? You take a ramp up wherever to get to the top of the building, and then here you have like a, almost like a pioneer type setting, and everyone's selling fruits and vegetables.
Sure.
That would be like a tourist attraction.
Here's a question. Who's going to go to this library?
Let's take a poll. So anyone who,
It's not going to be Laurentian students.
why is that?
Because they already have a library.
They have a library, yeah. Maybe
and
they'll.
it's much closer.
But what if they closed their library down, so that way they had to go to the library downtown?
So you take like a 15-minute bus
Yeah.
to go to the library.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That way there'd be people. And Cambrian, too.
A Cambrian could share.
That way, think of all the students we have in town. If they had to use the library, it would get used.
Do people read books anymore?
Students. Oh, they might just have PDFs.
I think everything's electronic.
Yeah,
It's like, do you
downloaded.
need a library?
Yeah, that's true.
Do you need to use computers at a library?
Are we asking these questions? That's what I want to know. I'm really curious at council today. That's a must watch, I think, to see the points that are going to be made and to see who's in favor of it, who's in opposition of it. And so that way you'll know if they represent your views coming up in the next election. I think people should be watching more. City council.
Yeah, city council is spending more of your money
It's your money.
than possibly any other entity.
Yeah. It's like we don't see it. It's in our taxes, right? But if they actually came to the door for each
They're
and
not
everything
in our taxes yet.
they were going to do, come to your door, ding dong. Hey, this is Counselor such and such. I just need $250 right now. Well, what do you
Yeah.
need that for? Oh, we're just building this really cool building downtown. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but what's it going to be? Well, it's a really good library. It's going to have an auditorium. It's going to be all eco-friendly. It's going to be all-inclusive art, and it's just going to say inclusiveness as the capital of Northern Ontario.
Mm-hmm.
So can I have $250, please, towards that?
Closer to 7.
It would be $700 per person.
Each, yeah.
For
Family
this.
of 4, that's like $3,000.
That's what the cost is per person for this.
Yeah.
Huh. So that's what I mean. So do you think people would be in favor of it if they actually had to see that money come out of their bank account?
You might get like 100 people to donate that in the entire city. Like 100 people would get more value
Yeah.
than their $700 out of the library.
Where are our local billionaires? So a lot of communities have billionaires that do things like this for the community, right? Like you've been around and seen that.
Billionaires can't just spend $100 million on.
But wouldn't they get
Vanity
some kind
projects.
of tax benefit by donating something like that to a city?
Sure. Yeah.
That's what I mean. Where are our billionaires? And where are they? What do they think about
Yeah,
this
I guess.
Junction East?
You gotta have a lot of money
project?
to make $100 million tax deferral.
I think the
worth
city's acting like a billionaire, like its own kind of
Yeah.
billionaire that can just, hey, I believe in this, and we're gonna do this.
And like, I think it's important to say too, I'm not like one of these, naysayer Debbie Downer people. Like, I actually like cool things, and I
Me
want
too.
cool things, and I want the city to be cool, and I want us to pursue cool projects.
Exactly.
Just not this one.
You don't think I'm going to drive over the Bridge of Nations, which also needs going to be millions and millions and millions of dollars to
Yeah.
upkeep that? And I'm going to be driving over that bridge, and I'm going to look at this new edifice, and it's going to be all lit up with hydro. And I'm going to say, that looks freaking cool.
Yeah.
This makes the downtown look really good. That's what I'm going to say.
Downtown.
It's like when I see the amazing car that I could never afford drive by me, and I go,
Yeah.
whoa.
Yeah, that's a cool car.
That is a cool car. I could never afford that car, but that is a cool car. That's the same thing I would do. And I might go in the building, too, to go, whoa, this is a cool building.
Mm.
And once I've seen it, and once I've been in it, I can't say for sure that there would be a draw for me to get back. And watch this one, too. If they have a big event, where are you going to park?
Yeah. Well, that's a whole different thing. Well, they could tear down the arena and put it there.
Yeah, I think that's what their plans would be. That way they'd have enough parking because there wouldn't be that many people going to it.
Because there's no arena.
So there would be
Yeah,
kind of
right.
enough parking.
Maybe that's the plan.
Mhm.
We can all use the Wacky Wings parking.
Yeah, exactly.
Because there's like 7 people.
I don't know. I don't know if you can tell we're not
I'm
the
just
biggest
saying,
fans
you
of
can
this.
build a magnificent, beautiful building in the same place they're proposing this one for a fraction of the cost, and it will do all the same things. This is a total joke.
Yeah.
This is like saying, I want to build an apartment building. Each apartment will be 10,000 square feet and made of marble. It's like, who is going to rent that?
No, and there is no rental fee for someone.
We're going to rent it for $100 a month.
Not it's like
how
there
does
is.
that make any sense?
We're just going to pay someone to be in it. We're going to pay someone to live in it. I think that's
Well,
more
yeah, it's
close
going to be
it.
popular for the like 7 people
Yeah.
that you can get in there.
If you
But
get a
it's like,
job in there, you'll be like, you know where
this
I
does
work?
not fit. This is a square peg,
Yeah.
circular hole. It does not compute.
Yeah. What are the benefits? We can have a maker space. This is what the library's saying. A visible maker space.
You can buy a cricket machine for everyone in Sudbury.
I know, but that's the thing. But they're saying you can, in this new building, the maker space will be more visible with all the machines and stuff because right now it's tucked
No
away.
one will use it.
We don't know it's there.
There is one of these exact things they're explaining at Laurentian right now.
Yeah.
It is completely empty.
Not used.
90% of the time.
With the demographic you would think that would be interested
Those
in
are the
using
ones
it.
who are going to use it. Trust me. Those are the ones. Put another one at Cambrian College if
And they
you're
would use it
really,
too.
really worried
Yeah.
about innovation.
And you're saying
stuff like
it's
that.
hardly even used there where the demographic is the right.
I went in there and got a full training on how to use like their 3D printers and stuff. I was the only one there for like days.
Whoa.
For like days.
What did you make?
Well, I was making all sorts of prototypes.
So you were getting good use out of this thing.
You know what I would have done if the Innovation Center did not exist at Laurentian?
What?
I would have just said, I guess I can't do it then. Then I just wouldn't have done it.
Yeah, that's true. And that's what's going to happen with, I think, this building is that, I don't know. It's if it's not being used now, I guess if
It
it's...
seems like just shiny object syndrome to me. It's like you see shiny
Yeah.
object and it's like, oh, I want that.
If there's a need for something and the public library promoted it, they get a lot of people going to the front desk going, oh, I heard you guys had a 3D printer here. Where is it? That's what you'd get. Like if you had something everyone wanted or there was a lot of demand for it,
Yeah.
you couldn't even hide the thing. You'd have so much demand.
No.
People would be like asking where to find these things. Like
Yep.
it would be like, whoa, just because it's, in $100 million building in a little bit more exposed area, if there's no real demand or want for it. Yeah. Are they then going to promote it afterwards? Oh, hey, there's the makerspace. Now they're going to promote it.
Yep.
They could promote it now, just the same.
Yeah, $100 million it's not a question that this is
Yeah.
basically burning
Yeah.
a massive pile of cash,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
I'm
A
just wondering-
skyscraper of cash.
I just wonder if we could get like little clips from the meeting. That would be awesome. Like little sound bites from counselors and things for tomorrow. But that's a lot of work. I guess we'll just have to read the reporters, comments on it and stuff. You know why I'm looking at you.
Yeah, I got stuff to do.
I know.
I already
you don't
put a
have
lot
time
into
for
this.
that. This is all volunteer for crying out loud.
No, that's not the problem. It's like
Anyways.
I already put a lot of time into this. So
That's what I mean. This
I'm
is
not
all
saying I don't want to
volunteer.
do more.
This is all volunteer. You're already volunteering lots of time. You're gas every day, driving to the studio, putting in the time, not only to do the show, there's the before, the after. It's all this. So anyways, I guess we'll just see what the
But
results
if we
are.
had $100 million creator space,
Oh.
I'm just kidding.
That's a great
I
idea.
don't think it would make a difference.
Yeah. Maybe we can give it to Sudbury News Talk.
So let's talk about this social media.
Keeping with our theme today,
Which is
I guess City Council and the city. which-
City Council and their overreach, perhaps?
Yeah. Well, Anna Marie says lots of money for a library, which I think she's in agreement with us.
That's a lot of books.
It's a lot of books. Yeah. That possibly won't be read.
I think I could possibly make a building out of money for
Yeah.
less than they're proposing.
So do you just want to take a note here, Zach, see how we have a comment,
Yeah.
but then how many people are watching live?
For some reason, our stream hasn't had anyone watching the entire time.
But there's comments, so
It
I
must be.
wonder. Oh, Facebook monitors, good morning.
Yes.
Nice to have you. Thank you very much for doing a wonderful job. YouTube monitors as well. We're great to have you with us, and hope you're having a really good day. And yeah, hopefully we're not too boring for you. Meaning, if you're not from Sudbury and you're just sitting there doing
Yeah,
your
it
job,
could be pretty boring.
monitoring, making sure people say the right things and don't say things that are against the community standards, obviously, which we don't want to do. Yeah.
All right. So this post on Sudbury Star talking about the social media policy, Kerwin, is that?
So City Councilor
City Councilor
Robert Kerwin has wrote an article. I guess he's able to just kind of reach out and write articles for our local paper, and
Sure.
he's done that, and he shares his views on what he thinks of the new proposed social media policy that they're going to vote on today.
Yeah, he's the one that is going to make the motion.
He wants to be the guy who makes the motion, and he wanted his wife to second it, even though she's not in City Council.
Right. Yeah, how does that work?
Well, that's how fervent they are about this new social media policy that they're proposing.
Yeah, interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just give people an overview of what it is. So basically, if someone posts on your Facebook page as a city councilor,
Yeah.
that wouldn't be your responsibility.
Well, meaning
Normally.
you didn't say the thing. The person who said the thing said the thing.
So it's their responsibility.
You would think.
Now, councilors are going to be held accountable for all content on their site, no matter who posts it.
Correct.
They will be held responsible and subject to the application of the Code of Conduct.
As if they said it themselves.
Yes. So this would put an end to what has become open season against city staff members and councilors.
Yep,
The truth comes out.
for sure.
So this was never about like hate speech, offensive speech, racism, sexism, bullying. This is about city staff members and city councilors having their feelings hurt.
I think so. Yeah. This is, this is a trend, and this is coming from top down in a lot of countries, including our own, which is a forerunner of this type of, policy making. And that's, if you noticed, if you go on Sudbury.com and you try and make a comment on their Facebook page, it says only certain people can make comments.
Mm-hmm.
And you're not one of them. And then you go on CBC and you try to make a comment. You can't make a comment there as well because they know about these policies that are being made, and they don't want to be held accountable for your opinion when you chime in on any particular story. Now, to the Sudbury Star's credit, on their Facebook page, they still allow people to comment.
Mm-hmm.
So what ends up happening is that you can just read what they say, and no one else can read what your view is on that. Does that kind of defeat the purpose of this whole social media idea of what we originally thought it was going to be, where everyone can just kind of
Did anyone
share,
think that it would,
like a town hall?
like we would just live in this utopia where everyone's opinion mattered? I never believed that. I saw through it pretty much right away.
Yeah, like if you have an opinion, like again, if you say hate speech, if you say, I'm going to come over to your house and kill you, well, that's a threat. And you could be held legally
Nobody's
responsible
trying
for
to
saying
make that legal.
But this is like a new kind of almost unwritten, ideology kind of based. If you say something, this is what the problem is. If you say something hurtful, well, I didn't mean that. I just said you were wrong. Well, that was hurting my feelings that you said I was wrong. Now, what does that lead to eventually? You know?
This makes me think of Jordan Peterson does this thing with, after one of his interviews, because they always try and take him out of context and make him sound the worst possible thing, whatever.
They accuse him of
when I
being
say they, I'm talking about
the journalists or the media.
These politically correct types.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So he says, you're allowed to wear a suit to work, but you're not allowed to show up to work completely naked. So somewhere in between there is the line where you cross over from being unacceptable to being acceptable. And he's like, I want to know exactly where that line is. That's what I feel like about this thing. So it's almost like, okay, I can say Brian Bigger is doing an incredible job.
That's true.
Running the city.
That's true. That's fine. That's okay to say.
I cannot say Brian Bigger is a fat loser that's doing a terrible job to run the city. So where is the line in between?
No, you can put him down. No, I see. You were going to the extreme.
That's the extreme.
You're going to the extreme.
So
very
like,
hateful.
where's the line in between?
Yeah.
And I would think, making fun of someone's weight is considered offensive, right? Or anything else. You can come up with a million other examples of something that's not acceptable.
Yeah.
So I'm asking, where exactly is the line?
Yeah, no.
What if I say, I disagree? Is that allowed?
It could. No, it might not be.
That might not be allowed.
That might be
the
hate
point.
speech.
When you say it like this, well, they're responsible for all comments on their page, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what this is about.
Yeah.
I just want to know where exactly the line is.
So we have Anne-Marie and we have Monique, and we have one person watching according to their Facebook views. But Monique says they point the finger, but they have three pointing back at them.
Yeah, it's like a kid.
They just want to say what they want to say, but you're not allowed to say what you want to say. You can't do that. But anyways, so I guess he's trying to spin it as if, counselors in the past have said things that were inappropriate on social media, and we cannot have that. That's what he's trying to say. So we need something in place. It's almost like, well, what do you have in person when you're down talking to each other? You're on break and one person says, you know what, I really don't agree with anything you've said. Like, what are you going to do about that? If it's not on social media.
Yeah.
Where does it end? And publicly, when you're in a council meeting, if you say something, I just don't know. Once you start canceling, once you start firing, it's just not going to end. It's just not going to end. Once you start saying you can't do this, you can't do that, well, then what's the next thing you can't do? Mm-hmm. So right now it's saying it's because of hate speech or bullying or putting someone down or going over the line. Like you said, where is the line? Like, can you tell us?
I just want to know where exactly the line is.
You know what's really appropriate and really not? What's really the thing is that no one knows what the line is, so they just can say, well, you've gone too far.
Their defense is going to be, we have a code of conduct.
Yeah, that's right.
But I don't have a code of conduct.
That's right.
I am just a person.
How about the code of conduct is the law that's already here?
Seems like pretty good.
And if you break that law, then you have to face it.
Seems like the law would be a pretty good line.
I think the law is a good line.
Because this code of conduct that they're talking about, that's not protected by the Charter of Rights.
It's just made up of some ideology that is a theory that we're all going to, it's not written, but we're all going to adhere to this unwritten kind of standard that's been made that's not clear, that no one understands.
And to be clear, I don't want the city council to be making rules. I think they can barely keep the city running at a minimum viable level.
Yeah, I know.
So, like, I definitely don't want them controlling my speech.
It's basically a law for the internet, right? It's kind of like a
Right.
law unto itself. It's what you're allowed to say, what you're not allowed to say, where you're allowed to say it, where you're not allowed to say it. And I think as publicly elected individuals, they are almost like possession of the public, and they should have to adhere to what the public is. They have to hear what the public is telling them. And this is a way of them kind of shutting off anyone's point of view and calling that, no, you can't say that because you didn't say it right. You didn't tell me you disagreed with me right.
Here's my thing. So I think of like the First Amendment, like in the United States.
In the United States, yeah.
And until pretty recently, like that was implicitly, like Canadians had almost the same right, I think, of like, you can say things that, you can disagree with your political leaders. And specifically the First Amendment is about the government being prohibited from making laws limiting free exercise of religion, freedom of speech, limiting freedom of the press, freedom of assembly, and then, grievances, like limiting the government being able to limit grievances against them.
For sure.
That was the whole point of the First Amendment.
Because once that starts happening, you start having a totalitarian government.
Yeah.
Because then the government is the one in charge. And
There's a reason why it's first, right?
Yeah. And that's what government will always tend to do. It tends to be like in self-survival mode. Once you're in power, you want to keep your power and you want to make it as hard as possible to take you out. It is what it is.
It's just, to me, like, I hear the First Amendment, I say, that's refreshing. And then I hear something like this where it's like, his claim is, Kerwin is like, well, we can't have people saying, n'importe quoi. Like, these people are on my platform. I want everyone to feel included.
Yeah.
It's like, there's a way of doing that, I think.
Well, you're going to disclude someone
That's what I'm saying.
to include other people.
There's a way of including people without
you're just
making half
discluding
of them
people who don't
unincluded.
agree with you is what you're doing. You're taking out the people who don't agree with you.
That's saying the quiet part out loud.
However, having said that, I think there is something that would be respectful and not, let's say, not swear. That's okay. I mean, that's not, keep your language, appropriate and things like that. So again, it's a little bit meatier than, when you're the moderator. Unfortunately, it's coming top down. So Facebook, YouTube, entities like that, governments, they're going to be telling us, it's not appropriate anymore to share the way you're speaking. And then it's going to get even more, the more they figure, okay, now we got that done. I don't like the way you do this, and I don't like the way you say that. And then eventually, just tell us what you want us to think, and then we'll just go along with it.
So let's talk about...
That's the end result.
Let's talk about Lefebvre.
Okay, cool. Paul Lefebvre, running for mayor, former MP.
Former MP for just long enough to collect a pension.
Oh my goodness. That is true.
Isn't that like...
Yeah, because he didn't run after that. He kind of was like,
interesting?
I'm done, I'm retiring.
He just said, I'm done.
Yeah.
6 years as an MP.
Yep. 2 terms-ish, yeah.
He's now aiming at the Ontario Municipal Employee Retirement System pension. That's what the article says.
Oh, the article comes right out and says that.
You could have a double pension.
Yeah, well, that's what I was saying on this show before. I said I knew a former mayor that was bragging that he had his career pension. He was in politics outside of Sudbury, and then he was mayor as well. He's kind of bragging he had 3 pensions. Or he was lamenting that he didn't have another pension because he wasn't in long enough or something like that to get 3. I forget exactly what it was. But anyways, that's the first time I heard of it, that they get these really, 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 really good pensions.
I'm looking it up right now.
How much they get in pension?
Yeah, I want to know.
So you have the MPs that have a pension, then you'll have the MPPs. They have a different pension. And then the mayor in this article also, while you're looking that up, the author of it, I think this is an opinion piece. I could be wrong. But the person writing the article says that, Paul Lefebvre he's using a lot of buzzwords, but he isn't really talking about a lot of the nitty gritty, including the one thing he points out that our mayor currently makes $225,000 a year in salary.
Currently, yeah.
And he's not talking about, well, he'll take a smaller salary or anything like that, which I think Duterzak, who is also running, said that she was going to do,
Take a 30% pay cut.
Which I have to say, I said that before she announced it on this show, that if I was to run for mayor, I would say, give me $225 for the entire 4 years. So 1 year's pay, it'll cover me for 4 years.
It's pretty close to the average income in Sudbury.
And that's what it is. It would be the average income. So that's what I would do if I was to run for mayor, which I am not. So I think it would cost too much. And unfortunately, Paul Lefebvre would have way more, I think he's the guy to beat this time. We talked about that before too. Because of who he is, because of,
He's like the incumbent almost.
Yeah, he's definitely, because when you're coming out of federal politics with that notoriety and that backing that got you into federal politics to begin with, and you're just going to apply that to municipal, I mean, he's got everything going from, he's a local business person, well-networked, very successful, a lawyer, has already had that experience in Ottawa, could bring some kind of perks to Sudbury by being that guy who was working with Trudeau already in his party, and could bring some dollars or some favors to Sudbury. So there are some pluses, but he's definitely the front runner in my opinion.
Yeah,
Were you able to find their pension amount?
I'm still looking. I'm not gonna be able to find it just quickly like this. It's hidden behind a bunch of pages, but
yeah, as if you can't just Google it. Google sometimes even gives you the answer like right on the top of the page. That to me should just be a Google like totally known answer. How much does a MP in Canada get for a pension?
If this is about money for Lefebvre, I would be very surprised. I don't think it is. There's this quote from I don't remember who originally made it, but it was basically like the battles. Or it was about university research departments.
Okay.
And it was like the battles were so fierce because the stakes were so small.
Oh.
And it's like, I think the reason everyone runs for mayor in Sudbury is it's not about the money. Like, I think the reason so many people run for mayor in Sudbury is because the stakes are so small.
Do you mean it's not a huge
Such
city?
an unimportant job. Like, there's so many other more productive things you could do with your life. Like, that's why we always joke about, like, oh, Zach, you going to run for mayor? No, because I want to have an important life.
But what is the work-life balance with a mayor kind of Sudbury job, do you think? Do you think you got some time to go to the cottage?
No way they work full-time.
That's what I mean. So isn't it a really good work-life balance? For $225 a year, you can, like how much time are you actually putting into the job? How much time are you in the office? How much are you doing things?
Like, I don't want to seem like an elitist. I'm not rich. But, like, my clients and the people I work with who invest in a very, very boring investment class, which is residential real estate, they would laugh at the idea of like a small pension that you get from serving as mayor or serving as
When
an
you
MP.
say small pension, I don't know. We haven't found the amount yet. Maybe I should do a little Google
but the
here.
point is pensions are accrued over time.
Okay.
So if you only serve for like 6 years or whatever, it's not going to be a huge pension.
Okay, that's what you think. MP pension.
We're both going to try and do that.
Amount in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh, they just don't want to give it to you.
No, they just don't want to give it to
They're
you.
going to bury it everywhere.
That's what
Members
I'm
of
saying.
Parliament pension plan. Pensions for dusted and retired MPs could cost taxpayers $42 million. Well, there's probably in there somewhere the how much the pensions are. Well, I know for a fact that the teachers' pensions are very high.
Is it higher than the normal pay?
Not higher than their normal pay, but it's higher than a lot of people's normal pay. It's over $75,000 a year net.
which is more than what teachers make.
Well, starting teachers. By the time the teacher gets to the point of pension, they're making more than that.
Right.
Yeah.
Like by the end
and
of their
nowadays
career,
it's
you
different.
mean?
They don't get the same pension they used to get.
Right. It's
a
changed.
lot different, but still good pension. Don't get me wrong, but it's not like it was known to be the pension that you wanted to be a teacher.
So my point is, you couldn't just become a teacher at like age 50, retire at age 55, and have this cushy pension. That's not the way it works. You accumulate it over time.
Mm-hmm.
Like you contribute over time.
Yeah, but it's different if you're an MP.
It's not that different.
Well, how about on tomorrow's
There's a maximum contribution.
That's right.
And then depending on what you put in.
On tomorrow's show,
yeah, for sure. I want to hear about it.
We need to find this out. So
yeah, I want to hear about it.
Take some time to look at this.
My argument would just be that, like, there is no get rich quick. Even being a corrupt politician, there is no get rich quick. Justin Trudeau has been lambasted for 5 years over taking $500,000 total from a charity in corruption. If you think Justin Trudeau is doing what he's doing for $500,000, like, you're kidding.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way you would put your family through that for only $500,000.
Oh, he's making other money other ways. These are the things we're hearing about.
Yeah. But the point is,
Yeah.
that's the best that we can come up
sure.
with. It's like,
Yeah.
trust me, he's not doing it for the money. People do things for reasons other than money.
That's right. It's legacy.
There's a million ways to make $1 million.
If you could be the king of somewhere, that's a pretty darn good reason, you know?
Like,
legacy.
Let's say you have enough influence, you have enough wherewithal, you have enough sales that you become the mayor. You would have made more money doing something else.
Yeah.
I'm just guaranteeing it. If you use those skills toward another thing, you'd be a lot better off.
I'm trying to remember
People that run for mayor every season, like, do something else. Like, come up with a better plan for your life.
I don't know. It's hard to
unless
make,
you're really, really set on public service.
It's hard to make $225,000 a year, Zach. It's
year.
hard. It's hard.
That's if you get in.
No, I know, but
there were 14 mayoral candidates the last cycle.
I know.
They all made zero
Yeah.
from running for mayor.
And
so divide that 220,000 over 14 people. It's not that great of a gig.
Yeah. And I'm not exactly, you know.
That's like 20 grand each.
I don't want to throw a conspiracy theory out there, but I will. I would say if I was Brian Bigger, I would have paid candidates 30 grand a piece to run, to make it so that I stayed in and got my $500,000 over 4 years.
Yeah,
you could totally afford it.
Yeah.
Think of it, 14 times 30 grand or 20 grand, whatever you want to pay them, just to run. You run, I'll pay you 20 grand. And that way I get in for sure. And then I know.
For sure. And then you get your 220,000.
225,000.
So half that.
Yeah. Anyways, I don't know. I'm just putting something out there. Just trying to have a little bit of fun here. So I hope you're able to have fun. We have a lot of people commenting this morning. Thanks. And thanks for being with us. We really appreciate spending time with you each and every morning. And we'll be back with the answer of, hopefully, how much an MP gets for a pension tomorrow. And on CKLU 96.7 FM, Facebook Live, YouTube Live. Have a great one, everyone. We'll see you again tomorrow. Bye.